Hello, and welcome to the Mommy Escape Time podcast. I'm Lauren. I'm a wife and a new mom. I came up with the idea of this podcast after struggling to find mommy groups around me when my son was born. I wanted a community of mothers I heard so many of my friends talk about when they had their children. This podcast is to help mothers like me that want a community of mothers to connect with when they have their free time. Together with my usual guest, Taryn, and other mothers, we will share our experiences, not our advice, through motherhood, and hopefully get some tips from you, the listeners. So come join us on the Mommy Escape Time podcast. Hello, and welcome to the Mommy Escape Time podcast. I am Lauren, your host, and today I am here with none other than the husband.
Yes, Brian, the not host.
Yes, and when Brian is on, that means I couldn't get anyone else to come on.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So he feels very important when he's on.
Oh, yes.
But I did get some good feedback last time when he was on, and we came up with some Brian and I came up with some ideas of some future podcast ideas that he could maybe talk about. But today is just a fun topic. So we're going to talk about our summer plans. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Okay, I'm
Brian
ready.
Brian has prepared nothing. So.
You didn't ask me to. You actually told me not to prepare anything. So.
I told you not to prepare anything a minute ago.
Right.
That's what I asked. I didn't want you just stealing all of my ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I'm a teacher, so I have the lucky experience of having the summers off. Well-deserved, by the way. Husband does not always agree, but well-deserved. And I'm very excited because I get to spend time with our son. And he is not going to daycare this summer. He is staying home with me 100%. And he'll travel around and go around with me all summer. And some days we have planned and some days we don't. I think June is already planned. We're like done with June already. Every day is planned already for us. But so we'll talk about some of the stuff. Next week is my last week of school and then I am done. So Friday will be our son's last day at daycare and then I will take him. And we're actually going to go away.
We're going to be away for 3 or 4 days, so that'll be nice.
Yeah, so that's our kickoff to summer is a little family getaway, which will be nice. And going up in the Adirondack area and hiking, being outside, doing nothing. And I think what's nice about going away is that there's always stuff to do in your own house. Like there's always, you can always find things to do.
Sure. There's always things staring you in the face that could be done or should be done. And not necessarily urgent, but maybe longer term projects that you've been putting off. But not that there isn't when we go away, because there's some stuff up there to do too. But it's nice to kind of get away.
Yeah, it's nice. So that's one of our main things is going up there for a little bit. And then I have a whole plan for rainy days or too hot to be outside days. And one of the big things that I never even thought about until I took one of my math classes this year. I take them every year. It's a geometry project that we do. And we go to IKEA, and we have an IKEA here in Connecticut. And it's like a great place to take your kid on a rainy day because I don't want to say they can run around because that's probably not what IKEA wants me to say. But they do have the opportunity to kind of like walk and play and sit on the different furniture and see what they have. They have a whole kids area. If you've never, that must have been loud. If you've never been there also, they have really, I don't want to say cheap food, but inexpensive-ish food, and a little cafeteria there. So it's a nice place to go to eat. And it's just kind of fun, like to walk around and do something like that. So that's one of my rainy day activities.
Yeah, it's good because it's big sort of, warehouse type store, and it's climate controlled to some extent, and they have the paths that you kind of follow around, and obviously you're maybe doing a little shopping there too. You're looking for that next step of children's furniture as they convert from crib to a bed, and maybe you can kind of see what they like and see what's new and different, or maybe an idea you haven't thought of. So can serve as multi-purpose trip.
Yeah. And it's just kind of fun. It's something that doesn't really cost money to go. You
Nope.
can just go and do it. And it gets you, it's just a change of scenery. So you're not just always in your house doing the same thing every day.
Right, and it's a little bit like, sometimes if it's a rainy evening or something and we just go walk in, the mall or even a Home Depot or Lowe's or something, it's just a big place to kind of walk around and get some steps in, get in some different scenery if it's raining outside. So another one of those kind of places.
Yeah. So do you have any other thoughts about what you want to do this summer?
Oh, well, you've got a whole list there, so
I do, but
I'm
this is a
pretty
list
sure
that my mom and I came up with,
Oh,
not a
okay.
list.
No, I think that's, it's kind of an interesting age when you want to expose them to some things, but you don't, you're not necessarily going to go all in on a bunch of museums or, science type places, because that can certainly affect your budget, and they're maybe not going to get a whole lot of it. You're not going to spend a whole day in an aquarium or something like that. But if it's something maybe where they have a deal, or maybe kids under a certain age get in free, and certainly with the internet, there's a lot of resources out there to find those places. And even we've had good luck at the library to find certain day passes and special deals. So you want to keep an eye on that stuff. But yeah, it is an interesting age because you want to get him out and about, but he's not necessarily in a learning mode or something where he's gonna grab a lot of that stuff. So I think the goal of the summer is to just be outside a lot and get him exposed to some. We have some great playgrounds around here. We have some great trails that are a little bit more advanced, and we have some pretty flat rail trail type places where he can walk pretty smoothly or stroll pretty smoothly in the shade. So there's a lot around here that doesn't cost a whole lot that can get him outside and keep him active.
Yeah, and I think if you don't know, our son is about 13 months at the time of this podcast. And we did find our public library, how it works is that we can rent almost these museum passes, and they're not free necessarily all the time. Sometimes they're discounted tickets, but we have a zoo in Connecticut, and I was able to get a discounted pass from the library it's $5 per adult because kids are free, or at least this time our son is free. So it's $5 for each of the adults, and it's up to 5 adults to go, which is a really good deal when you think about, it's like a $20 ticket normally. It definitely makes it more manageable, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll take him because he'll love to see the animals, but he's not going to enjoy it as much as maybe a 3 or 4-year-old, so it won't be like a full 9 to 4 day at the
Right, and
zoo.
it's not a major travel commitment too. I mean,
Right.
and like I said, into the money commitment, you'd hate to get down there and have him not feeling well, or start to and just be having a really bad day. Not that our son has a lot of really bad days, but
No.
you'd hate to drive for a couple hours and spend a bunch of money on tickets and get in somewhere, and it just wasn't his day. So this is a place that's local enough and inexpensive enough with the deal that she got, where if you get down there and it doesn't work out, okay, well, we'll try it again in another month or so. So yeah, I think keep our eyes peeled for things like that, and certainly being home during the week, you'll be lucky enough to take advantage of some of the midweek opportunities that might pop up and be less crowded,
Right.
and things during the week.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the other things is I can do all these things midweek,
Hmm.
that I never was able to do, or like when stores first open, we can be there during the week
Right.
just to do them. Because one of my favorite things to do is go grocery shopping with our
Right, or
son.
go to Target. Yep.
But one of my big things that I want to try this summer is really home. When it was just the two of us, it was pretty simple to buy our groceries. It didn't really matter where I bought them. I just sort of, bought them. But now that I have to pack a lunch and a breakfast, although I won't be doing that this summer, but now that I have to make meals no matter what, for our child all the time, I'm trying to find where places have the best deals. So I'm actually going to be good researcher this summer. And I go to about 5 different grocery stores normally. So I go to Walmart, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Stu Leonard's, and Stop and Shop, I would say. Oh, and I go to Big Y.
Yeah, and you've got
And
Target,
Target.
and Price Chopper, and yeah, we live in a place where there's a lot of grocery stores, not even counting the one that just burned down that was
I
the closest.
know.
But yeah,
So,
it's tough because you buy a lot of different things, and certainly with the baby stuff, certain things like you had a struggle to find a yogurt that was only available in Whole Foods. So you gotta,
right.
once kids get used to a product, you kind of have to stick with it, and then you're bouncing around a little bit. So
All right, and it's hard because I found different products at all of these different stores that they are definitely the best deal. And like the yogurt thing is a big deal because I can only get that at Whole Foods. And I think people sometimes hear the word Whole Foods and they just, oh, it's so expensive there. And I mean, I am an Amazon Prime membership, so I do actually look for those Amazon Prime deals, which they are pretty good. And I think that, if you go in trying to figure out what it is that you're looking for, it's just as expensive as everywhere else. I mean, everyone's competing at this point. Everyone wants the highest quality, the best quality stuff. So, I mean, no one's like going into a grocery store, what's the worst type of meat I can get and the lowest quality that might make me sick? So, I think that, any store you go to is going to be great. It's just like Brian said, it's those very specific things that he's been eating all along that I don't want to change. So I'm actually going to make a spreadsheet, come up with like the top items that I buy pretty much every week. There's stuff that I buy every week and try and figure out which grocery store has the best price. So I know like if I'm going to Whole Foods, maybe I would just go once a month and I would stock up on just these 5 items while I'm there and get better at freezing things.
right.
That's my hardest thing is I always like don't think of that as an option. Like, yes, you can freeze
Sure.
food and it'll still be there when you take it out of the freezer.
Yeah, and we didn't even talk about even doing a BJ's or something like that to go get some things in bulk too. So that's another option too for a project, something for him to do even on a rainy or hot day. You could take him there and cool him
Right.
off in the freezers for a little bit. But yeah, certainly things that you can freeze or obviously non-perishables and stuff. That's another place to hit up.
And for our international listeners, especially our Spain and UK listeners, BJ's or Costco are like big warehouse where you can buy things in like huge bulk amounts. My mom is coming up this summer, so she'll be here, and she has a Costco membership. So we're gonna try and use hers because you have to pay like $50 a year to be a member. And if you don't know me, if I'm doing a spreadsheet to figure out where the food, the best price for food is, paying $50 a year for a membership is pretty tough for me to do. The other thing that I really want to try with him is not a long time going, but I definitely want to try going to the beach with him just to kind of see how our son acts with that. I don't know if he would like the water. Our water is a little weird here. It's Long Island Sound, so it doesn't have big waves, so I don't have to worry about that.
Right. You get some waves though, and it's it's different than lake. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Not known as the cleanest water in the area. It definitely has a good amounts of seaweed and things like that because once it comes in, there's no place for it to go. It's surrounded by land. It's almost like a big lake at some point, the way Long Island Sound works. So, but I think he'll like going to the beach. It's where my aunt lives. It's a very small beach. So we can just try it out and walk right back to the house if he doesn't like it. And I don't know, do babies automatically eat sand?
I don't think he will. And if he does, it won't be for long.
I hope not. That's one of my biggest fears is the eating of the sand part. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll like it. He seems to like anything maybe first time. So, but you got to keep an eye on the sun and all that kind of stuff too. But I think he'll be okay with it. Certainly likes baths, and he's been out in boats, and he's at least done that. So
He's been in pools.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that's another thing, like the whole sun thing. Sometimes it's like, I was like so excited for summer. I'm like, oh, we don't have to like bundle up. I can just, take him out what he is in, but then he's in shorts and a t-shirt. So now I got to have the hat and the sunscreen and we got to keep applying it. And I got to make sure we're very fair skinned. So he is obviously fair skinned also. So we got to be careful with that. So that's a whole nother thing that, you try and be careful with, of course, because you don't want his skin to get sunburned.
Nope, doesn't take long.
No, it doesn't. So we have to be careful with that. Another thing is I am trying to get my son to be ready to go to Disney in a year or two. And in Connecticut, we have like a few small amusement parks. So I am planning on taking our son, and I've actually been taking him to one of them already. And there's some rides he can do, not a ton, but there's some water things that he can do if I go in with him and stuff like that. And some of the rides there. He loves carousels. So he's been enjoying that too. And there's like cute little train rides that he can do. And I figure, if we go and do it, he doesn't have to be there all day. It's close enough to our house where it's not a huge time commitment, and going for 2 or 3 hours for him is fine. And sometimes he just likes looking at the other kids on the rides. And
Yeah, even just to walk around and look at the games and even the rides you can't go on, to watch them go around, I think he likes quite a bit. And you got a season pass there, which is nice.
right,
So
yeah.
so that helps.
So I can just go whenever I want,
Yeah.
And I really took advantage, like the day it opened,
Right,
I
yeah.
was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I will be there until the day it closes.
Sure.
Because I think it's a great deal. And I think even just getting him out, it's with other kids. They have a little show with some animal that I don't know what it is. But he really liked that. He only saw like 5 minutes of it. And
Daniel Tiger.
Oh,
that's
Daniel
what it
Tiger.
was.
Yeah. And he loved it. So that's what I want. I want him to be comfortable with those types of characters so that when he goes to Disney World, he feels comfortable and wants to meet them, because he does love Mickey and Donald so much. So, that's exciting.
Yep. What else you've got on the list there? You've got libraries. So a lot of the local libraries have great reading programs. They do some stuff in the mornings. So all that stuff is low or no cost. So they keep those programs pretty fresh. They don't stick on the same idea for, the whole summer. They'll do certain things on Tuesday, certain things on Thursday, and then maybe they'll mix it up for something different in August than they had in July. So the local libraries do a really good job of keeping that stuff up to date and mixing it up.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I like, because he's not going to be in daycare, but our son's pretty social. He likes other kids. He likes to be around other kids. So I think going to the library to do some of those reading programs will really be nice for him to meet new kids and just interact with other kids during the summer. And again, like you said, it's free. Who doesn't, take advantage of the free
Sure.
activities?
Sure. Yeah, and to hear another voice read different words and a different set of books. We have a lot of books here that we got as gifts or hand-me-downs, but just we're also tired of hearing the same book, so it gives us a chance to hear some other books. And if there's something he really likes, then we can maybe borrow it from the library. But yeah, another set of books, different set of pictures, different set of kids from his daycare. So it's all good stuff at the library.
I think I've talked about it before, but our son loves books so much. So we have all the books memorized, and it's funny because he has his favorite books too that he picks out. So we're trying to introduce different books into his genre to try and mix it up, especially for us.
Yeah, we almost have to hide some of his favorites somehow. So sometimes so he can just,
Yes.
so he's forced to go on to something new.
He found one of his books that I've hidden for so long, and he found it, and it's just nonstop. It's one of those ones that like makes noises, and he has just been nonstop with it for the past 2 days since he found it. So,
Yep.
all right. So one of the other places that I really want to go is actually a specific town. It's called Old Weathersfield, and it's a place where they're downtown. Like they film a lot of Hallmark Christmas movies or Lifetime Christmas movies. I actually don't know which channel it goes after. I don't know if that makes a difference to people. But it's just a cute little downtown area, and it has like an I don't want to call it a junk shop. It's like an everything shop.
Yeah,
Um,
there's a few of those, and it's all historic buildings, and they've all been preserved, and some are still active homes that people live in, and then some are more museumish where you can go in and take a look around, and then others are storefronts where they still sell different kind of either knickknacks, or one store has a little coffee shop and sells some seeds there, and yeah, so there's kind of a mix there, but it's they've got some trees along the walkway and nice wide sidewalks and everything, so you can go and walk around there if it's not too hot.
yeah, it's a nice place to walk around. They have these big sidewalks that go by all the historical uh, homes in the area. And that seed store has like a little market in it that you can buy things in, and they're always being creative. Heirloom market. They're always trying to make new things. They're really into growing their own stuff and using local stuff, and that's kind of something that we enjoy doing. Um, and that also leads to, I want to try out farmers markets. I don't think I've done any since I've moved
No,
here.
we really haven't. Our Connecticut's big on the town greens, and most of them have farmers markets at least once or twice a week. So our green has a farmers market, so we'll go and check that out, and all the other local towns do too. So I think they try to schedule them on different days.
Yeah, and I think just sometimes they have different vegetables at those farmers markets, or different, or not common, I should say, vegetables and fruits. So that's kind of nice to just get something different and be like, okay, well, what is this? And not quite doing a farm share, but doing something where you're getting different stuff to introduce to our
Hmm.
son, and getting us to maybe get a little out of our comfort zone, because I have the time to cook and think about those things if I'm not
Right.
working.
Yeah, and a lot of them have some kid type events, and depending on how big they are, they might have somebody there doing some kid activities, whether it's just something simple like balloons or something like that. But and people usually bring their pets and stuff too, which I'm sure he'll like.
Yeah, he loves dogs. Loves, loves, loves them. So the last couple things are really about what I'm going to try and do, not just what we're going to try and do as a family. But my big thing is that I'm trying to get better at my running and more consistent with my running. And Brian's been helping me a lot the last couple of weeks with it. And I think we found out that for me to run after work is not, I'm not having my best runs, but I am having really good runs if I run in the morning when I have time to stretch and do certain things. So my goal really is to just be consistent with that running, and just trying to do the cross training that really goes with it to help my leg improve.
Right. Yeah, and he likes being out, so usually I'll go and push him in the stroller and walk in the same direction as you're running, and turn around and come back, so he gets to see a couple times go by him, and yeah, he seems to like that, and probably helps you running a little bit.
Yeah, it does. I get to run back to him, and that's always fun. So, anything else that you want to add about the
No,
summer?
I don't think so. I mean, you talked about we've got our local minor league baseball team. We've actually got a few minor and independent league teams around, so we might check those out. What's good about going to those versus the major league? The major league, you're paying all that money for parking and same sort of thing. If he's not having a good day, if the weather's not right and you have to leave early, but these are priced reasonable enough where if you do have to leave early for whatever reason, or if the weather's not good, you can just skip it. So that's fun, and they do a lot of activities for the kids, whether it's different mascots and different between inning events. So I'm sure he'll get a kick out of those.
Yeah. All right. So, those are our summer plans. We'd love to hear what you guys are doing this summer. So, if you want to go on to Instagram and tell at Mommy Escape Time and let us know what you're going to do this summer. So, thank you, Brian,
You are
for
welcome, Lauren.
being my stand in guest. And we will talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.